Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, even the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. To the Akwat that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, the 144,000, one-third, the hopeful elect of Israel. I'm the brother Yeshua. I'm back with the World War III Daily Update. Shalom and salutations to you all. Today is War and Rumors of War Tuesday, where we go to Matthew 24 and 6 and we read it. We find that ever so popular phrase, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Okay? See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, with the end is not yet. We're going to deal with this phrase right here. Okay? So first we're going to read it. And go down this list here. The NIV, Matthew 24 and 6 NIV. And you will hear of wars and rumors of war. We all know that. NLT, wars and threats. Okay? We've got rumors and threats. And then we got news. Rumors, threats, news. Right? Noise of battles close by and the news of battles far away. Rumors, threats, news. This used to be easy, but now I have to. And reports. Reports, news. Reports, Huey Lewis and the news. Reports, news, threats, and rumors. Okay, so let's look. What do we got? Got the judge in Napolitano judging freedom 82 minutes ago. Aaron Mate, U.S. wins a dirty war. So the judge is going to ask the initial question, and we're going to determine whether it's a rumor, it's a threat, it's news, or a report. Take it away, Judge.
Everyone, Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Tuesday, December 24th, 2024, Christmas Eve. Our dear friend Aaron Mate joins us now. Aaron, as always, a pleasure. Thank you very much, and thank you for all you've done for the show and for educating me and our viewers in the past year. It's been a wonderful collaboration, and I hope we can continue in the next year. What is the IDF doing in Syria as we speak?
Boom. What is the IDF doing in Syria as we speak? Now pay particular attention to the first words that come out. He bluntly answers the question with what I believe to be the absolute truth. Ready? Go.
They're grabbing as much territory as they can, taking advantage of the fall of Assad. Immediately when Assad left, they went on a rampage attacking Syria's military infrastructure, taking out the Navy, just to ensure that in case anybody in Syria ever gets any ideas about trying to take back Syrian territory, which Israel stole in 1967, the Golan Heights, that Syria will not be able to do that. And they basically announced that because of the change of government in Syria, that a 1973 armistice no longer took effect. And so Israel not only wiped out scores of positions of the Syrian military, but took even more territory, including
going into the Greater Israel Project, if you understand what that. Google that, okay, and you see what they're actually doing. Not only there, but in Lebanon and down in Gaza, and the whole thing, right? And they got a whole lot more to do. No different than the 7 countries that America was supposed to take down, right? They're still working on that one, though.
Mount Hermon, which is a very high point in Syria, giving Israel new strategic depth over Syrian territory. So that was just a message that the Golan Heights, which Israel stole in 1967, is ours, and we have such a monopoly on force that we're going to take even more territory just to make sure that nobody gets any bad ideas.
Why is Syria being trashed or destroyed between the Kurds, the Turks, the U.S., and the Israelis?
Well, Syria, going back many decades, has long been the site of so much geopolitical squabbling because of its location, because of its history. In the case of Israel and the U.S., Syria was worth targeting because Syria was a land bridge through which Iran could supply Hezbollah.
The ancient
Hezbollah is the main force in the region that, as we've just been seeing over this last year, is the main.
For him to say that it's a natural land bridge, it's an ancient trade route that's been going through there. So naturally, weapons are going to go through there, right? That's what they say nowadays, but that shit goes back into antiquity. If it's a natural land bridge, that should tell you right away. It's strategic, like a choke point, the Red Sea, or a canal or something like that. All right, you got to control that specific area for geopolitical purposes.
A region that can resist Israeli hegemony and stands in the way of Israel's efforts to basically wipe out Palestinians, crush their goals for self-determination. So that's why Israel was targeted from the point of view. That's why Syria was targeted, from the point of view of Israel and the U.S. And then you have Turkey, which is ruled by Erdogan, who has long seen Syria as a part of his empire that he wants to restore. And so,
see how he's going back into antiquity. His empire, what empire? The Ottoman Empire that he wants to restore. What do these words mean? You understand? What does he want to? When has Turkey ruled, nigga? What do you mean? What empire? What Turkish empire are you talking about? Right? Turkey ain't been ruling shit in my lifetime. So what is Erdogan trying to restore? We got to go back to when Turkey was Constantinople, motherfucker. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Watch out. Watch out.
Why he's been so involved in meddling in Syria, and that's why, without his support, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, the rebranded al-Qaeda group that ousted Assad, would not have been able to launch the offensive that has brought itself to power.
Here we get into big rumors, big, rumors of war. Oh, he did this. He used to be in Al Qaeda. Oh my God, there. Now he's the prime minister of Syria. The nigga used to run Al Qaeda. He put on a suit. Is this rumors of war or what? Okay, right? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So let's listen to a little more.
And then there's this, cut number 11.
We have been briefing you regularly that there are approximately 900 U.S. troops deployed to Syria. We recently learned that those numbers were higher, and so asked to look into it. I learned today that in fact there are approximately 2,000 U.S. troops in Syria. As I understand it, as it was explained to me, these additional forces are considered temporary rotational forces that deploy to meet shifting mission requirements.
Let me stop him right there. What's this general's name? The 7 countries. The 7 countries. The U.S. planned to go to war with, what's that guy's name? Stanley Clark? Stanley, is it Clark? It's not Stanley Clark, it's Clark. Oh, to war with, is it Clark? I think that's his name. Wesley Clark. Did I say Stanley Clark? The bass player. Okay, so what did that guy just say about Syria? You got to understand this about Listen to what Wesley Clark says here. Okay, because this is why. Didn't he just say that they sent troops? Why are they sending troops to Syria now? Look at the date. Okay, they started this campaign. Gotta watch this. Let's watch it.
Do you see a replay of what happened in the lead up to the war with Iraq? The allegations of the weapons of mass destruction, the media leaping on to the bandwagon.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that."
Now listen close to what he's about to say. Because Syria is going to be in this line of countries. Listen.
He reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper. He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today. And he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon."
Starting with Iraq. Listen to what he's saying. We're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years. Starting with Iraq. Remember shock and awe? Okay, so they were already in Afghanistan. He's giving you the list of countries that America plans on going in. So, and they pretty much went into all of it, except for Syria. See, they got bogged down because Vlad came and said, "Oh, I see what you're doing in Iraq. I'm not going to let you do it in Syria." So he sent some troops over there to stop that shit. Okay. Now this goes back to what? They started bombing in Iraq in what? 02, 03? Okay, so how soon after that did they try to go into Syria if Syria was number 2? So that would be about 05, right? 07-ish, right? And they got bogged down because Russia came in to help out. Okay? This is what he's describing. Let him go over the list again. Why is America sending troops now? Because Russia ran the fuck up out of there when Assad left, right? With that little turkey thing that went on the other day. Listen.
Today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia."
Lebanon, Libya. Okay. Look at Lebanon right now. The Hezbollah, right? Lebanon right now is being bombed the fuck out of. By who? By the Israelis? No. By who he's telling you right now. The American had plans to do what? Take down Lebanon. Take down Syria. What are they doing right now? Taking down Syria. Listen to what he's saying. He's telling you what they're planning. This goes back to the early aughts. Early 2000s.
Describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years.
Starting with Iraq.
Starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
Finishing off who? He said before this was read to him, they were already bombing in Afghanistan. Okay, so Sudan, you got to look for these African countries that they're about to go in and do what if they haven't already. Libya's taken down. Okay, but the two on the list that piqued my interest right now: Iran, Syria. Right now we go back after seeing that. Wait, let's watch a little more of this. Let's see what's here. Let's hear that again. Yeah, this is very.
This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
And then Syria.
We had a chance to talk about a wide range of international issues, including the situation in Syria. And I have to...
08. This is 08. At least. When did this nigga come in? 09.
that all of us who've been seeing the terrible pictures coming out of Syria and Homs recently recognize it is absolutely imperative for the international community to rally. And
remember when they gassed? Oh, Assad gassed his own people. No, they didn't. That was Americans over there using gas, blaming it on the Syrians. Remember that? That was them attempting to take Syria down, but Russia came in and did what? Thwarted that thing. That's why they're going back now, because they ran Assad out. Vlad pulled his troops back. Now they can go in and try to complete what it is they're trying.
A clear message to President Assad that it is time for a transition. It is time for that regime to move on, and it is time to stop the killing of Syrian citizens by their own government.
Lebanon.
They both had different reasons, the State Department and the White House, for wanting Israel to do it, encouraging them to do it, supporting them. Our Air Force worked very closely with the Israeli Air Force for months before this, not necessarily with a deadline, knowing when it would happen. It was always going to be whenever there was an incident, they would take advantage of it.
So they've been working on this for a long time.
The word I used was fortunate timing. When the Hezbollah grabbed some of the Israeli soldiers in early July, that was then a pretext, I think that's the only word, for a major offensive that had been in the works a long time.
Libya.
Today we can definitively say
We
that
already know about Libya.
the Gaddafi regime has come to an end. The last major regime strongholds
We saw
have
he
fallen.
died.
The new government is consolidating the control over the country, and one of the world's longest-serving dictators is no more.
Somalia.
Well, violence isn't only on the rise in Afghanistan. In fact, it looks like America's shadow wars have now increased by 1. Drone strikes have long been reported in Pakistan and Yemen, but now there's news that a week ago, a U.S. drone aircraft fired on 2 leaders of the Somalian organization Al-Shabaab.
Sudan.
President Obama is sending 100 combat-equipped troops to Central Africa to advise local forces on getting rid of one of the continent's most vicious operatives, Joseph Kony, the head of the Lord's Resistance Army, a group responsible for atrocities across the region. It's
Remember Kony 2012?
first open deployment of U.S. ground combat power to Africa since the Black Hawk Down incident in Somalia in the 1990s that killed 18 troops. U.S. troops may wind up now in Uganda, South Sudan, the Central African Republic, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It's part of a growing military effort to engage in Africa.
Finishing off Iran.
All right. Let's get 2 Corinthians 2:14. What is it? This is stupid. What's wrong with this? 2 and 11. I say 214. DD 214. That's on my mind. Somebody said some military shit. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We know what this guy is up to. All right. Yeah, you got thwarted in Syria, but now you get to go back. And apparently you already took care of that business in Africa, so you're up to date now. Look at that. Look at this devil. So they're going to try to proceed, right, with that NWO, but it ain't going to work. So anyway, it's all rumor and conjecture. Fair use. With that, we hope the electorate edified you, brothers and sisters. Shalom.